And this is the greatest goddamn show on air. What is going on this weekend?
Man, nothing much. Just working, trying to get rich like everyone else.
I feel that. Speaking of which, so you're torching one up. We are about, I think we're less than 45 days in Ohio from being able to purchase marijuana legally, recreationally at
That's
dispensaries.
amazing. That's amazing. It's amazing how far we've come. Aren't
Right.
people aren't people still locked up for marijuana though?
Yeah, of course.
Seems a little hypocritical, but
I
I'm
don't know
good.
about I know there's a program in Ohio um that are letting people off more towards probation for people who are selling weed. But honestly, weed's been decriminalized in Ohio since like 2010.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of people going to jail over weed. Like it was like they had like a 3 strike rule or something like that, I think, in a certain period of time. So like if you get a ticket the first 2 times, and the third time you do a little jail time, but I don't think you really go to prison over it. It is a felony to have your third, um, or it was, to have a third strike within a certain amount of time. And I think it was also like a crime if you had over a certain amount. I think it was 112 grams, which is what roughly what 4 ounces or some shit like that, give or take.
I feel like it's not that big a deal. I feel like it never was that big a deal. I feel like don't get me wrong, it definitely affects you. Okay, but I would definitely categorize this as more with like a cigarette than I would even alcohol. Cause like one shot of alcohol will have me so fucked up, whereas I can smoke like 3 or 4 blunts and just
Well,
be
it's because
fine.
you don't drink.
I don't.
I drank 12 twisted teas last night. I'm hungover. That's it.
Does,
There's a little
does, it,
hangover.
does it feel good?
Sometimes.
Does the
The
hangover
hangover?
feel
No, the
good?
hangover never feels good.
Then why do you keep doing it?
Because the not hangover part, the drunk part is awesome. I wasn't even like that drunk either. Like I was just like kind of just chilling on my couch watching TV. It's cool. Talking to bitches.
Dude, if you gave me like 4 twisted teas, Patricia would come out.
Yeah, I drank 6 of the tall boys. So 12, essentially. 12
Bro, you need to
twisted
drink
teas.
some water.
Yeah, I just downed a whole bottle of Gatorade before I got on.
You should. Yeah, that's bad for
Yeah, like I said, I've
you.
been all day. I've just been like, I'm tired. I don't feel
I
good.
bet. Did you
Just
did you
all
even
day.
work
But
today?
not even like I've had way worse hangovers, is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm just sluggish today. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not trying to like I'm not trying to talk shit to anybody. I'm not trying to like have anybody talk shit to me. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm just like avoidant. Hey, Hamza, I don't want to pronounce that wrong. Hamza Hansen. Um, yeah, I can drink way more than that. I'm like a like. Did I ever tell you about Hey Charlie? Did I ever tell you like you met Sasha, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so my ex's best friend. So Sasha is a Russian immigrant, right?
Right.
And the first time I'd ever hung out with her and Sasha, we drank, right? And I'm sitting, they're just chit chatting, gossiping, doing the shit like 20-year-old girls do. And I'm sitting there trying to like keep up, not really trying to, but just like passively keeping up with them. And then
Yeah,
like
because
one day,
one's Irish and one's Russian, right?
yeah, she's Irish and the other one's Russian. And then I'm
They can
like,
drink.
I think like 2 hours in, I was like, why the fuck am I so fucking shit faced right now? Like, oh my god. And they were like drinking it like it was spring water. You know what I
And
mean? Like,
what do you mean you were trying to keep up with them? Like you were counting every drink they drank, and then like you were
I
like,
was just like when like you know how like when like somebody yawns, you yawn, you know? So every time I took a sip, I take a sip. It was just like passive. Like it was subconscious. You
oh,
get what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
it
you're
was
too
just like,
fast with them. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
and then because I was young too, I didn't know my limits. You know what I mean? Because I hadn't tested them before, really. So like, dude, that was like I put it together. I was like, I'm drinking with a Russian immigrant and like a first gen Irish American. Like, I'm
Yeah, people are
like
going
I'm
crazy.
gone. That was the first time I had ever like thrown up from drinking, and I was throwing up for like 12 hours. Like, yeah, I was like from 3 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At that point, I was like, basically, I thought I was dying. I was like, this is it. Like, I'm gonna die. And my ex, she was like, you'll be fine. Shut up. Like, I mean, she like came and
God.
patted me on the back and stuff to like let me know that it's gonna be okay. But I just didn't believe her. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's so fucked up, bro. Like that's crazy. And the thing about it is, I can't say that there haven't been times where like I enjoy drinking. Like there's sometimes I enjoy it. Like it's not, but I'm never drunk. I'm like tipsy. I'm like barely tipsy is the thing.
That's why
Like
you
I
don't
got
have it. That's why you don't like it. You don't get drunk.
yeah, no, I don't. Who gets drunk? Like that's
I do.
I know
I
because the
love
thing
it,
is,
man.
I don't like to be, and I see this even though I don't know how to drive because like if there's ever an emergency, it's not going to be me driving. But I like to be aware enough that if there is an emergency, I could do something about it. I don't like to be helpless. So
So
getting drunk would make me feel helpless.
so I drank 8, right? And then Grayson drove me up to the gas station to get more.
Oh, he can drive
Well, he has a permit, so
pretty good. He can drive pretty good though.
technically he's not allowed to drive with an inebriated rider.
But I mean, can you physically do it?
But yeah,
He
he
can
can. Yeah,
physically
he's
do
a good driver. Like
it.
like he needs like I don't know like guidance a little bit, but I mean that's just because he doesn't drive very much. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, so I had him drive me up, and then I was like, and like I just like looked at him, and I was just like, I just want you to know, the only reason you're driving is because it's the responsible thing to do. But I could totally drive right now, and
No, you
I
could.
and I still believe that right now. I could have
But you want to know
driven
something?
if I needed to.
You,
After 8 twisted teas, I could have driven, and it would have been fine. Nobody would have known. I wouldn't have crashed or anything. I'm not saying I would, because that's wrong. But I'm just saying I know that I could.
do you want to know something? If you get into any type of car accident, even if it's not your fault, if you have been drinking, you're going to be the one in trouble for it.
Mhm.
So if
Yeah.
you're drunk and someone hits you and the cops get involved and they figure out that you're drunk, even though someone hits you, you're liable, bro. Because why was you drinking? Because what was you drunk for? See, because now you fucked up. And like shit like that always just get. I'm like, damn, that's fun. Like, imagine you a drunk driver, but you're a good drunk driver, and then you get in trouble because someone hits you. That's some bullshit, right? That's some
Right.
bullshit. But I don't condone any type of drinking and driving. I actually don't even condone like smoking marijuana and driving just because it's still illegal. You shouldn't do things that are illegal because I don't want you to go to jail.
I'm kind of of the opinion that like if you haven't caused an accident, what did you do wrong?
You broke the law.
Yeah, but laws are bullshit. Like that law is just saying it that to say that drinking and driving is illegal because of the possibility of what could go wrong. Like
If you look at the statistics, I think death by drunk driving is pretty high. Like, I don't think it's a little
no,
one.
no,
It's a
no,
high
no,
one.
okay, yeah, sure. Those stats are inflated because we don't know how many people actually do drive drunk though.
Okay, I want you,
Like think of all the people who don't get reported and don't get into accidents.
but I want you to think about it because I can explain this to you perfectly. You know how like when you get something nice or you get to do something because you have like a privilege, and then that stupid motherfucker does something and ruins it for everybody. That's pretty much what it is. Not every single person, do I believe, would be capable of driving while inebriated. Some people could. I'm not condoning it, but there's some people that can't, and it's the dumb motherfuckers who think, "Oh, I can drive," who go out and fucking kill people. Like you're a fucking idiot. You should know when you can and cannot drive. If you've ever, driven drunk, once again, which I don't condone, it happens. We're all gonna sit here and act like it doesn't happen. It happens, okay? People
Yeah,
do
because
it.
I feel like it's one of those things that you could tell. Like I said, like
People
I
do it.
know for a fact I could have last night, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But there have been days where I feel like that you just know because when you're drinking and you stand up, you're like, I'm gonna sit back down. Like,
Yeah,
you shouldn't
yeah.
drive. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, there are times when I don't know. I guess that is just something that I've always been aware of is like when it comes down to it, I don't second guess myself. If I know something's up, I know something's up. And I most of the time I've been right. I will say that I can't tell you how many times something has played out, even in our lives. Like growing up, something has played out and I was like, yeah, I could have called that. I could have called that. And I'm fucking homeschooled in Texas, motherfucker. I could have seen that shit. Y'all are stupid out here.
I think I think the problem isn't drinking and driving. It's how we have an epidemic of unaware people, unself-aware people.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. How do
Yeah.
you stop that? How do you fix that problem? Because
I
that's deep rooted. That isn't just drinking and driving. That's relationship problems. Unself-aware people. That's bad parenting. That not just not is that doesn't stem from bad parenting. Those are bad parents. You know what I mean? They're unself-aware. Those are people who just fucking meander in the aisles at the grocery store and are just in the fucking way. You know what I mean? Like, that's just
uh-huh. Yeah, there's still a lot of fucking stupid people around these days.
yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying. It's just
and
unself-aware people in the world. How do
it's
you
not
fix that
even like
problem?
it's not even like the fact that some people can't help it. There are some people who are born, mentally slow. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who lack common sense. Those are the worst motherfuckers. The fact that why do you walk around the world just not knowing anything and just not giving a shit about it?
Dude, you've met people who are like, how have you lived this long? Like,
There was
right?
one time someone said, "Do you have a Six Flags in Texas?" Honey, that's where Six Flags originated. The Six Flags that flew over Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you
But I mean, that's not that. I mean, that's just general not
I
knowing
mean, there's some
knowledge.
shit. I mean,
That's
even I
not
knew
like
that.
that's not what I'm talking about though. I'm talking about there's like people who like don't know things that honestly you really need to like live. You know what I mean? In society, in America at least. Like um
A lot of it, I've met a lot of people who can't control their emotions. Everybody, I've met a lot of people who are just like, "Oh, I'll fucking fight you. Like, we could take it outside. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll cuss anybody out." Yeah, you're not helping yourself like that. I've had people try to say that I
because
was
like you're just gonna
fake,
get into a bunch of fights and eventually somebody's gonna whip your ass.
or you're gonna go to jail because you're gonna hit someone and
Yeah.
they're gonna call the police on you. Like, it's not always smart. You can't just walk around the world thinking you're the biggest, baddest motherfucker because you're not. I swear to God, you're not. Okay. So that's part of it is just people thinking they can walk around doing whatever the fuck they want. And also, people just don't have control over their emotions, man. It's not, you're supposed to stop and think. Like, you're supposed to, okay, let me think this out. If I do this, this is what's going to happen. If I do this, people are just going, they're just reacting on straight emotion. And that's not very smart. It's not very intelligent of you, honestly. Like, we're supposed to be like top of the food chain. And some of you motherfuckers wouldn't last a day in the wild. A day. And that's
Like
always being aware of your surroundings and stuff like that. And I'm not saying be fucking paranoid about it because we've met some paranoid motherfuckers, but there ain't nothing wrong with taking a few looks over your shoulder, see if somebody's watching you because you never know. You just got to be aware of things and you got to get better control over your emotions. People are just crazy these days.
yeah, I mean, I kind of used to be one of those people where I couldn't control my emotions much, but I was younger.
Well, everyone goes
I
through that
still
when they're
have,
young.
I still battle. And sometimes, so some days I'm just like, I am gonna be a dick if anybody is an inconvenience to me. You know what I mean? I have my days. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty chill. unless someone's like, I wake up every day kind of the same, almost every day. Like I wake up kind of tired. All right, well, I gotta go take a shower, gotta go get ready for it. Let me put my makeup on. You know, I gotta go to work. But I feel the same way. And then when I get to work, it doesn't matter if it's clean or dirty to me because I'm so used to it. I just go in and go to work. I don't even give a fuck. I'm just here to work and make money. That's it. And it's gotten to the point where now even customers don't really piss me off that much anymore because I just don't give a fuck. So, you know, like, you're not bothering me out here. And you know what? It takes so much energy to be bothered. It takes so much energy to be angry. Like, there are a lot of things I should be angry about that I can't be because I'm just tired. I'm just exhausted. Like, I can't be angry about this shit. I can't be sad about this shit. I'm just chilling. I'm just living. You know, I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm trying to, you know, I'm polite. I got manners. And I'm not trying to see no shit or say no shit. You know, I always tell you ain't nothing happened recently because I'm just so used to the ghetto-ness, but something did happen the other night that was kind of wild. So me and my boyfriend went to go get a soda in like the middle of the night, and we go to this gas station that we always go to. It's like within walking distance, but we drove, and it's super ghetto, super ghetto. They've been robbed a few times, like it's fucked up. But we go in, and then they let us know that their system is down. And they're like, it'll be up in maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, well, we're just going to look around, you know, see if we want to drink or something. And there was no one really in there when we were in there. And we kind of know them. So we're like, we're just going to look around for a minute, see if it comes back up. Well, a bunch of people start piling in. And he's telling them, okay, our system's down, our system down. Well, one dude, one motherfucker who thinks he's hot shit, fucking, I don't know if he was drunk or if that's just how he was, comes in. And he's like, oh, I'm a real fucking gangster. I'm a real gangster. I don't give a fuck if your system's down. And he puts some cash on the table and he goes to like walk away with whatever alcohol I think he had. Tell me why the guy behind the counter went to the door and locked the door with all of us in. You got me fucked up. First of all, that 40 is not worth your life, motherfucker. You better let that motherfucker walk out that door. You don't know who's gonna pull a gun. Are you stupid?
Cash on the fucking like.
Don't. Well, I guess because he didn't ID him, or because he didn't ID him, or whatever. Because this, and that. I don't know. But we was finna, as soon as he fucking unlocked that shit, we was gone. You was not finna lock me in here, have me get fucking shot. Are you a dumbass?
Yeah, I wouldn't even go back to that. I wouldn't even go back to the place after that. You know, ever again. I'd be like, that's how you conduct. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Bro, I was baffled. I was like, you was gonna get us all killed. What if that man had put, because it's not uncommon.
What did the guy say? What did the gangster say?
He was like, man, this is some bullshit. I don't give a fuck. Like, and then the dude was like, I'm gonna call the cops. He's like, I don't give a shit. He just put this shit back. I think he was standing there.
Give a fuck and then put it back.
But he was standing there kind of waiting around, and I think a white lady had come in and walked by him, and she said, excuse me, and he said, don't say no shit to me. Don't say no shit to me. And she was looking at him crazy, and we were walking out, and he said something. He's like, yeah, y'all better get your people. You better get, because we were white. And I was just laughing. We were just walking. Y'all got to stop. Y'all are like, I could not give a fuck. It was so stupid.
There's starting to be racism is coming to a boiling point again.
Oh, there's a huge race war going on right now. It is insane. They have us pit. It's the politicians. It's the fucking internet. It's got us all pitted against each other.
The big divide and conquer thing. It's really annoying.
It's not black or white. It's not straight or gay. It's rich versus poor. And guess who's winning? Not the poor. Oh my God. We went door dashing the other day, and we went into this gated community, and there were all these like brand new houses, and these people had like just moved in, and I was like, damn, this is what it's like, huh?
Yeah, they keep the rest of it out, right?
Like, I'm trying to be here. I'm not trying to be out here. I want to live here in a gated community with some, nice fucking people and some nice fucking cars. I'm sick of the ghetto shit, man. I want out. I'm done.
About the house, first off.
Did you hear about that raise?
Yes, Mom told me the 25-cent raise.
25 cents. Oh, but in 2 years, in 2022,
$10 a week at 40 hours before taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I would be
And
insulted.
I was. And it said, oh, in 2026, it'll be raised $2 more. Is that how you all keep people around here? Y'all gotta like persuade us? Y'all gotta like dangle
Yeah, I
money and
just like
everything?
I wouldn't if you tell me in 2 years. I'm like I already tuned out. I'm like I don't care about in 2 years and all that. But it sounds like a lie. You know what I mean? Like get the fuck out of here.
But you switch jobs a lot. Like you
Yeah.
job hopped a lot back in the day.
hmm And it worked to my benefit actually. A lot of people thought looked down on it for me doing it, but like I went from being paid like $10 an hour to like $18 an hour in the matter of like 3 years because I just what I did was this is how I did it, and you can't do it anymore because the businesses have like wisened up to it because I wasn't the only person doing it, but like I would just work at a place for 6 months and then start looking for another job and say I was making $10 an hour right at the job currently and I have this much experience and I've worked at other places or whatever. Well, what would happen is I would tell the new job that's trying to hire me, oh, I make $12 an hour over there. And they're like, well, we'll match it. And I was like, I'm not gonna come to you. Like I already have a cushy job where I know everybody, I know the menu because I was a chef, or
Right.
like a line cook. And I know the menu, I know people there, I have a routine. I'm not gonna come to you, come work for you just to match my pay. It has to benefit me, okay? So I'm making $12 over there. They'd be like, okay, we'll offer you 13.
And that's how you do it.
And then I would immediately just get a $3 raise.
That's how you do it, man.
So
And you gotta be smart about this shit. That's pretty solid advice. But then see that's the thing though. I'm not too keen on switching things up. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of I like convenience. And since I don't have my driver's license right now, which will be changed, by the way, so don't y'all keep giving me shit because it'll be changed. That's coming up. Um, my job is right by my house. Like if anything were to happen, I can walk to my job. So I don't want to have to go anywhere else. I don't want to have to learn. And to be honest with you, it's not a hard job, and I'm kind of lazy. So I don't want to have to go learn some new shit where y'all got a whole big ass fucking menu
well,
with a
I
bunch of
think
side work.
also what you're misunderstanding a little bit too is at the time, and it did benefit me in the grand scheme of things. At the time, I wanted to be a restaurateur. I wanted to own a restaurant. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be like the chef of my own place, right? So
Yeah.
I would just job hop to these other jobs, and while doing that, I would accrue a higher wage. But I was also going from different style of kitchens and learning all different ways of how to run a
So you're
restaurant,
getting
but
experience.
also how to make different foods and stuff.
Yeah, you're getting experience. A
Yeah,
bunch.
and guess what? It did help me because I run Hammered and Cheese, and then later after this show, I'm gonna do every other weekend meals with Jack. You know what I mean? So I ended up using it to my advantage anyway. So even though I don't really have a huge desire to own my own restaurant anymore, and that may change. Hopefully, as Hammered and Cheese takes off, maybe I will have a restaurant. I don't know, but it will be more like a sponsorship or something like that.
Right,
So
right. Yeah.
like how Guy Fieri has his chains of restaurants and all that, but he's really not even there ever. So,
Yeah.
you know, dream big, I guess. But yeah, so like, if you want to do that style of job hopping, I recommend doing it in an industry where it benefits you because you want to learn the industry. But I don't think it would work after like added. I don't think it would work that's only like that only works at like entry level and like trades. I don't think that would work in an industry where you require like a bachelor's degree or something. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, that's what I was gonna say. I am not too interested in staying in the restaurant business. I'm good at it. Doesn't mean I enjoy it.
Right.
So I am very
That is a
interested
big
in,
thing too because
you
I
know,
enjoy cooking, but I don't enjoy working in a restaurant. I enjoy
yeah,
kitchens. I enjoy the people, but the volume of work you have to put in, and the fact that it's always a skeleton staff, and the fact that you're basically pit against the front of the back of the house, always pit against the front of the house, and then the customer is always like an asshole. You know what I mean? Like I've never had a positive experience with a customer as a cook because I don't deal with customers typically. You know what I mean?
Right. Every time you're dealing with a
The only
customer,
time they want to talk to me is when they want to complain. So I didn't like that part of it, and it burnt me out. You know what I mean? So I like what I do now, where I just kind of cook on online. You know, so
right. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but in the service industry, in the restaurant industry, there's a lot of drug abuse. There's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, there is
And
a lot of
that
felons.
shit, it's not something you want to get into too deep.
There's a
Like,
lot
if
of
that's your
violent
thing,
people too who work in
yeah.
kitchens.
I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, servers, don't fuck y'all's cooks. Don't do it. I know it seems like don't do it. It's gonna make things worse. And I don't know what it is about it because you could take the grimiest motherfucker, but if you put an apron on him and get him behind that fucking line, I don't know. It's like magic. I don't know. It's some type of I don't know, man. Maybe because you're just in such close proximity to each other, but I feel like it could be an ugly
I've been
motherfucker and he
told
would
that
be
I look
attractive
way
as a line cook.
hotter in my apron than I do without it on. And I'm like, I'm wearing the exact same thing. I'm just wearing an apron. And I've been told by women that I'm just like way sexier with an apron on. Like,
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that, but I just said it. That's fucking crazy. Like, it's real. Like, if you could take an ugly motherfucker, put them behind the line, and they just become attractive, you got to stay away from that. It's some weird restaurant hypnotism. It's
they say
restaurant
women
hypnotism.
love a man in a uniform, and it's like, no, women love a man with a job. Like,
Maybe that's what that is.
yeah,
That
he's
makes
a
a lot of sense.
felon and a drug addict, but look at him, he's working. He probably pulls 60 hours
Yeah,
a
he's
week.
got a job and he can clean good too because he's cook. He be cleaning that
And he can
motherfucker.
cook,
He
he
can
can
cook
cook, he
and
can
clean.
clean,
That's he
he's
cook
got a
and
paycheck.
clean. Yes, that's what I'm saying. My boyfriend was a line cook when we got together.
Oh, really?
He was, yeah.
Where?
It's some small restaurant here in town. He had been there for like 5 or so years. He just recently gave the restaurant business up actually because he was like, "Nah, fuck that shit," because it's not worth me going to jail over. Like, I'm done. People are disrespectful, and sometimes
More
people in
so
the kitchen,
now than ever, if I'm honest. It's getting worse.
people think they can talk to you fucking however. His boss wanted to fucking cuss him out and asked him why he was late when or why he didn't come in on Valentine's Day. Bitch, why do you think? I fucking told you I wasn't coming in, and then he comes in the next day and he wants to fucking stand there and cuss me out. Fuck you, dude. I'm not doing this with you. Like, this job is not my whole life. I don't know where jobs think that they can, like, Valentine's Day, fucking Christmas, fucking fuck you. I got a life to live, man. Get out of here.
That's a big thing too with jobs. I always have problems with. Obviously now I'm a private contractor, but like working a 9 to 5, like I don't even want to call it a 9 to 5, but like just being an employee is like the employers seem to think that like they just own you. Like they're like legitimately upset that you're like, I need time off, or no, I'm not going to come in on my day off. You know what I mean? Like, well, you're
Yeah.
not a team player. I never said I was. That was never something I said in my resume.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying, man.
Like they try to guilt you. I don't know. I quit on the job one time, and like they didn't find out till like 3 hours later. Like,
Or you remember that? You remember that one time that job tried to put you on the schedule without telling you were hired, and they called you one morning and asked where you were, and you were like, "Y'all didn't even call me and tell
that
me
was
that I got the job."
Chipotle.
Yeah,
That was
I
what. That was
remember.
it. I was like, that was the last kitchen job I had ever applied for, and I was just like, I'm done, because I applied for management, and yeah, they put me on the fucking schedule
And didn't even tell you were
and never
hired.
told me I
Not a
was
callback.
hired. And they're like, "Oh, well, can you come in anyway?" And I'm like, "No, like,
No, not on a short notice. You didn't tell me. Like, I'm looking for a different job. You didn't. You should have told me right then and there.
right."
Like,
And then they
no.
told me, and then they asked, "Well, what about tomorrow?" I'm like, "No, like,
Like, no, this is like this left a bad taste in my mouth, honestly. If this is how you do business, I want no part of it. Like, you're clearly
Right.
running a shit show from the jump. I want no part of that.
Yeah, I was
And I
but
think, honestly, I think serving is where you learn a lot about like human behavior because like you notice whether or not people pick up after their kids or you notice whether or not so we got these orange juice bottles, right? And they comes like sealed with a little bit of like this green tape on the outside of it so you know it's never been opened. People will take it and stick it on the table. Who do you think's got to fucking take that off? I do. Where do you, like who
do
raised
people
you?
still put their gum under the desk or the table to
Oh,
fill
I
it to
don't
the
do
day?
that. I don't do that. I don't check for that. That's not in my job description. Probably. I don't do that. Fuck that.
I didn't figure you would because there's always gum under tables for a long time. I haven't checked in a long time, but like I wonder if that's still a regular thing.
We
I
got
don't think people chew gum as much anymore as they
we
used
got
to.
8 fucking trash cans in that building. There's no reason you need to stick your gum on. Well, no, because if you count the 2 in the bathroom, that's 10. And a dumpster. We got 10 trash cans
That's
in the building and a
always
dumpster out back. Why
that's
are you putting
always
your
been
gum
a
on the
gross
table?
thing to me. If you like granted I haven't ran into somebody who's ever done that.
But you want to know
Uh,
something?
but
You
if
want to know
somebody did
something?
that right in front of me, I'd be like, this is a deal breaker for me. We
We
can't
would
even be
stop being
friends
friends.
anymore. Yeah, we can't even be friends anymore.
Yeah.
You can't even apologize. Like you can't even. Not only can you not apologize, I don't like if you were like, look, I'll take the gum off and throw it. You've already lost me. Like, go be a
No,
better
because like
person for the rest of your life. But I have no respect for you now.
because it's like what vibes did I put off that made you think I would be okay with that? Because
That
like you see what I'm
that's yeah,
saying?
that's like almost as bad as when like a racist gets like corners you and is like says some racist shit in your ear and you're like, stop, don't do this to me. Like
Like I'm not like yeah, like I hate when like people make some like offhanded fucking remarks to you and you're just like, what the
people
fuck are
do
you
stuff
talking
and
about,
they think
dude?
there's a lot of people in the world who will do something that's just crazy and expect you to go along with it.
Bro, there
You know
was
what I
one
mean?
time in high school. I think I was hanging out with my friend, and my friend probably had this other dude hanging out with him. I wasn't friends with this dude, but he was always tagging along type shit. And I was telling him I had a crush on this guy one day, and he was like, "You have a crush on a black guy?"
Uh-uh.
Yeah. You got something you want to get off your chest there, buddy? We were in Ohio. I was like, wait, I'm having a fucking flashback. I thought I was out of Texas. Who the fuck is this? I didn't know there was like racism up there. There is. I
It's the
didn't
Midwest.
encounter.
It's the
I
Midwest.
never encountered it.
This is as bad as it is. The Midwest is like diet the South. You know what I mean? It's like the Coke Zero of South. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I was not. I was not like cool with him after that. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like you can't just have crushes on people. Like you can't just. I'm the type of person where like I vibe with a personality. Like I don't necessarily need you to look a certain type of way for me to want to be with you, if that makes sense. You know, like I'm here for who you are, not what you look like. Especially
In
because
honor
you're
of
good
Pride
older.
Month, they call that pansexual.
I don't care what they call it. I'm just doing what I'm gonna do. I'm liberty. I'm not. I hated that in high school. People would be like, "What are you? Are you bi? Are you les?" Don't ask. I'm Liberty. Nice to meet you.
That's the thing that's specific to your generation. That was not a thing when I was a kid.
Don't ask me that. Because honestly, the thing is, what it feels like, oh, are you bisexual? So that means I can get with you? No, that's not what that means. Not at all. I don't
I
get
don't
with just
think that
anybody.
I think everybody in your generation just like labels everything. I don't know. Like to me, it's like it's not any of your business. Like you know what I mean? Like why do you care so much?
Mhm.
What do you give a fuck? Like does it affect you in any way? You know what I mean?
What's it matter?
Right.
Like,
What's it to you?
who are you? Like, I don't know you. I'm Liberty. Nice to meet you. Like, don't be asking me what my
Yeah, like that
sexual
drives me
preference
crazy a
is.
little bit. I don't like it when people put their like sexual orientation or their pronouns in their bio, and
Can
it's
I
like
say
that. I
something?
don't.
Can I
That's
say
too much
something?
for me.
Can
Yeah,
I
go
say
ahead.
something? It's always weirded me out too. I
Yeah,
never.
like why is that necessary? Like I don't even like. I
I
get
didn't
if
ask.
you like if you want to like if we're I'm trying to get to know you as a person, whether it's romantic or platonic. If you want to tell me that, fine, okay, but like, why are you telling the whole world that stuff?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
they put the rainbows and stuff. It's like I didn't need to know that you were gay. I didn't need to know you were straight. Whatever you are, I don't need to know this stuff. Like, why? Why? Who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel sometimes. Like it doesn't.
Even the people who do give a fuck, why? Why do you
And
give a
you,
fuck?
and you want to know something? I've always kind of felt that way about like
And we're
social
talking this shit in
media.
June, by the way. Anyway, go ahead.
We're canceled for sure. But that doesn't even stem just to like specifically them. That goes for everybody. Like I can understand if you're following somebody, maybe you want to see what they're up to, but the people who just think that everybody gives a fuck kind of weird me out. Like you have to post everything you're doing, you have to post every day. You have like I don't post that much. And I don't narrate my life to people either. I don't like let people know my accomplishments because I'm like nobody
Well, I
gives a
do
shit.
that. I do post every day and like narrate my life, but I'm a content creator.
Right. I'm talking
Yeah.
about just like regular people just like boasting about every single thing they do. It kind of sometimes it feels weird to me. I'm not trying to judge, but it feels like
Kind
a
of narcissistic, right? Because if
feels
you're
like
not
a
trying to
fishing
do it
for like
for,
a compliment
you're
right
not trying to
now.
make a career out of it or some kind, or even a side hustle, right? If you're not trying to make money off, monetize it, then why are you doing that?
Yeah, it'd be kind of cringy. Bro, mom used to do that shit. Mom would like post every like. Did I ever tell you like when I was 13, I came out? No, it was like 13 or 14. I came out as like bisexual to my mother, right? So you know what my mother did? She called our grandmother, who like would like not be down for that, and like told her about it. And I'm just like,
Which grandmother?
Kathy, her
Why?
mom. I don't know. And then you know what else she did? You know what else she did?
Why did
She,
you what mom's here? Why did
fuck
you
you, dude. Why didn't you tell me that? Why didn't you fucking tell me that shit, you asshole? Oh my god.
Just like that.
No. She said when she came out that
As
you told
bisexual,
Kathy.
you
She
called
doesn't know
our
why.
grandma and you told her about it, and I'm kind of like, that's so not the vibe, bro. She's gonna like hate us more.
But why? But no, but she said that you specifically called her to tell her.
She did.
I don't.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. We were living in ranch country. And you had that big ass white car, and you called her, and you were smoking a cigarette, and you were telling her. And that's when Kathy was trying to say, I don't know what the fuck she started talking about. She started talking about politics and Trump with you, and she said something about a wolf in sheep's clothing
No,
or
it wasn't
some
even that
shit.
long ago. I forget that you're way younger than I am.
Mm.
I spent a lot of time just trying to include my mother. I tried to have that bond with her, and I tried really hard. So I think I was still, wrapped up in that. Hey, she's my mom, and this is a semi-important thing. Like, this is my daughter. This is, kind of scary thing to tell someone, especially when you're so young. So I think I wanted to share it with my mom, and of course, she was just the cunt. So,
Bro, you should have known that she was gonna like hate us more. She would have been like, "Oh, them nasty motherfuckers over there."
but baby, you got to remember that I just could not stop trying until I fucking did. And I don't know if you remember, but I stopped trying when we left the farm that day, and you started crying, and you said, "Our grandmother does not love us." And
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, and I never spoke to that bitch again because I was like, I'm not going to let my children feel the way she made me feel my whole life.
No, you're right. I remember that. That. It was some fucked up shit. We could talk about that one actually, Cole. So it was right after the Hurricane Harvey back in like 2018 or 2017 or something like that. We had evacuated. Now, mind you, when we were getting into the car, the water was like rushing. Okay, it was like if you had a tripped, bro, you'd have been gone. It was knee high. It was like almost thigh high getting into the car. Like it almost got into the car. We drove up to our grandma's house. Do you know when we got to her house, she didn't even hug us? Bro, we just escaped a hurricane. She didn't even hug us. It was
Which
the
is-
craziest shit.
Which is one of the worst hurricanes that had ever hit Houston, by the way.
Mhm.
Fucking living
Yep.
was because we thought we'd be okay in the restaurant. We were in the restaurant because that was so
And
far
water
in.
started coming in.
Yeah. Then the water started rushing in under the fucking doors, and we were like, "Oh no, we gotta go." So yeah, she was just, I don't know.
She's a boomer. That's what it is.
I don't think that had anything.
I think it does.
I
I think
honestly don't
boomers
think
are the
that. I
worst,
think,
man.
We could get into all that. Sometimes I forget, like we would go to our grandmother.
She did not like her daughter. She loved her sons. She had favorites amongst her sons, but she just did not love me.
Bro,
And-
did you know that she made one of her spare bedrooms in her house into a room for her granddaughter Paisley? For her granddaughter Paisley. Do you know I was her first granddaughter?
Yeah.
I didn't get a room.
No,
I didn't get a room.
room. Joe and Viv, their cribs in my bedroom when I was a fucking teenager. Like I didn't even get my own motherfucking room.
This is why I don't like women, man. She almost let me die.
Yeah. She like,
Supposedly she didn't know.
911. Okay.
Yeah, because she wasn't going to call the cops. She wasn't going to involve the authorities when she almost let a child drown.
Yeah.
Who got me with to call the cops?
She's going to let it go. Dust it off, bro. Shake it off.
Whose idea was it to call the cops then?
Ben did. Ben called the cops. At 5 years old. He was 5. He called the
Isn't
cops.
Ben? I was gonna say, isn't Ben like 2 years older than you?
He's just 1 year older than me.
Yeah.
I was 4.
Oh my god! How does a 5-year-old even call the police? Imagine the police pulling up and
Yeah,
there's
he
like an
called the
adult
cops and said, Clay's drowning. And the cops were like, what?
like, who's that? Like, rent your house, little man.
Right.
God, that's fun. It was confusing for me to have to call 911. I called 911 once, and it was confusing for me as an adult. I could only imagine for like a 5-year-old. That's intense.
What the fuck was she doing? Because Joe was saving his life. Ben was calling 911. Where the fuck was she? She was probably getting the pool noodle out of the goddamn pool.
So Joe pulled you out of the pool.
Because they were coming in for lunch and he saw that there was still a pool noodle in there. He was scared to get in trouble because that crazy bitch was so OCD. And he went to go grab it out and he fucking fell in. So he was more afraid of his grandmother than he was of fucking drowning.
I didn't even know how to swim. I was trying to.
Yeah.
I was like, "Give it here, get it here."
So that crazy bitch was probably worried about the pool noodle.
So Joe got you out the pool.
I would not fucking be surprised at all. I'm so fucking serious.
You know,
So Joe was the one who got
the
you out the
funniest
pool.
thing about that ever is Ben was able to call the cops at 5 years old, right? And it call like and handle an emergency like call to the police. And to this day, I have never called the police for an emergency. The only time I call the police is to let them know traffic lights are out. They answer. My local police department answers the phone at which traffic light is out now. That's how they answer because they know me now as the traffic light guy. Because I'm on the road so much. And I make them do their job.
Damn, look at you go, man. Well, someone's got to do it, apparently.
Them.
So was Joe the one who pulled you out of that pool when you were drowning? as a
Yeah,
kid?
yeah. Joe's the one that pulled me out.
Isn't he only like 7
2
or
years
8?
older. He was 6.
Damn.
So my grandmother, nowhere to be found.
Well, that's their parenting for you.
Yep.
That was the boomers, huh?
Yep. Sorry to set you up. I didn't. You kind of. You said her name and then she walked in, probably because she heard her name. So
I heard Kathy.
she,
No, I heard you say which grandmother. and
she's
you
evil
said
eyeing me
Kathy,
right now.
and I'm like, let me go investigate this shit right quick.
Yeah, so she heard trigger words that she came in here. She said she wasn't going to come out of the back room until the podcast was done. But yeah, because I heard your presence. You have an aura about you. Like it's just like it's tense vibes. Is what it is. It's like when you're driving and you're like, I'm speeding, I should slow down. And then you see a cop, you're like, I'm glad I felt that presence.
Dude, I do that all the time. I do that all the time.
What, you see cops like just
No,
before
but
you see them?
I get that feeling all the time. That intuition is like very strong within me. I get it all the time.
Every
It's
time I've
weird.
been pulled over for speeding, it was not because I didn't know the cop was there. It's because I didn't know what the speed limit was. It was twice. I got 2 speeding tickets ever, and I legitimately thought I was going the speed limit. I was just like, the speed limit had dropped. It's because I can always sense when a cop's coming up. I'm like, I can tell.
I can
But
sense it.
I knew the cop was there. I just thought I was going.
I can feel it. I can feel it. I've had to tell my boyfriend sometimes. I've been like, "There's a cop. There's a cop. There's a cop coming. Slow down." Like,
Are
chill
you?
Mm-mm.
Like, you're not.
No, he believes me now.
I was
Like
like,
I think he tried at first, but then I would always be right. I'd be like, "There's a cop coming. You better slow down." Like there's one because it's not really like I'm not gonna say like, "Oh, it's because I'm a psychic" or anything, but you can just kind of feel
it's the
when like
vibes, bro.
it's
You feel
like
the
oh, a cop
ego.
would be out here for sure. Like I could
Right.
tell by the bend, by the
You
little
sense the ego, right?
yeah, you're like there. I would like it. Kind of feels like if I was a cop, this is where I'd be too. Like this is, like I kind of see where you're coming from, kind of.
Yeah, because Grayson was riding with me door dashing a few weeks ago, and I was like pointing out spots of where cops hide typically, because he's starting to get close to getting his driver's license. And I was like, the first time I pointed it out to him, I was like, "There's usually a cop right here," and then there was a cop there. I was like, "See."
Yep, that's how they roll. That's how they do things.
I know all. I'm on the road so much now. I just know where all their hiding spots are. But yeah. So you said you watched Forrest
Forrest
Gump
Gump.
for the first time, kind of, right?
Well, no, not the first time.
As
I
an adult?
rewatched it, but
As
as
an
an
adult?
adult, yeah, it feels different as an adult. Like there are some things that make sense. Like um when he was meeting JFK because he went like a football scholarship. When he went to wash his hands in the bathrooms, there was a photo of JFK and his brother, and then right behind it there was a signed photo of Marilyn Monroe. So that was like another hint.
I actually just watched Forrest Gump a few months ago. Tried to get Jack to watch it. He wasn't interested. He watched about 45 minutes and he's like, "I don't want to watch this." I'm like, "Okay." But I watched the rest of it, but I never saw that actually.
Yeah, when he went to wash his hands, there's a small little photo of like Marilyn Monroe in the background. So that's a hint at like their affair. So like it's pretty common knowledge. And then there's a big take on the internet where people say that like Jenny was such a villain in the movie. But I don't think she was. I don't think she was.
She was.
Well, tell me why you think she was, and I'll tell you why she wasn't.
Because she was always avoiding Forrest, and Forrest was like a good guy or whatever. And I get why she wouldn't want to be with him. Like I totally get it. The first most of the movie, I get it. Okay. I'm not saying she has to be with Forrest Gump, okay? But it's like when nobody wants her and she's got this fucking nasty disease now. Now all of a sudden her fallback plan is Forrest Gump. The poor fucking disabled guy, veteran, no less.
Who was a millionaire too.
America's hero.
And he was
Now you want to fall back on him?
Yeah, but
he's your son. Wink, wink.
That you see, that's another part of it that I guess it came to mind. So I was gonna say my whole take on it was that they suggested that she was abused as a child. Okay, well she grew up and she had trauma, right? But the thing was, she was still friends with him when she was going to college. She was still friends with him, and he was pushing boundaries. He was like beating up on all her boyfriends and shit. And she was like, "Yo, you got to."
I get why she didn't want to be with him in the first place. It's just how it ended.
A part of it that you're not thinking about, the part of it you're thinking like, oh, I just don't want to be with this dude. The moment when they were on the bridge and he was like, oh, I love you and stuff like that, she realized that he did love her, and she knew that she was going to ruin his life. That she was just like a broken person and it was going to seep out, and she felt like she would hold him back. So not only did she leave,
which is fine. It's understandable.
Yeah, she left because she wanted him to be better without her. Yeah, she did. And then, she met up with him again after like the war and stuff. And he caught her, boyfriend beating on her again. Well, that's another thing. When she was abused as a child, yeah, she was going to have shitty fucking boyfriends, man. What do you think happens? It's just what a fucking traumatized person does. But she was still friends with Forrest. right? That was still her pal. And then in the very end, you're right. She ended up having a disease, which everyone assumes was HIV or AIDS, right? Because it became, around that time. You're right. He was a millionaire by that time. And she had a kid that she just told him was his kid. And he wasn't of the intelligence, and they probably didn't have it back then to think, oh, I'm going to get a DNA test because she could be lying. Right.
Well, I think this is in the early '80s, so I don't know if they had that technology yet.
Right. But another thing I realized was that Forrest was never going to expect her to have sex with him. That was like a number one of the like most
This is like the perfect thing for her.
He was going to love her no matter what. Like it never even crossed his mind,
Is that what everyone wants?
No, but it's not what we want, but it's kind of what, I don't know. It's not necessarily what you want.
Romanticize that a little bit.
But it definitely like makes you feel like the love would be stronger. Like he would love you even if he wouldn't expect something out of you. And then that made her want to sleep with him, and then she did. And that's what happened pretty much. And then she
left like a fucking cunt. Also, Atlas says I'm stroking my beard and making him laugh. I need to shave bad. Like at least trim it. It's getting rough. But proceed.
But also, why did she wait? The one part that bugged me the most was why did she wait so long to tell Forrest he had a son? When she got sick,
it's not his son. It's not his son.
Was she never? But the thing was, if that was his son, because the timing could match up, was she never going to tell him? Did she only tell him because she got sick, and she was just going to raise this kid without the dad? Like that part makes me wonder. That part was
a shitty person, bro.
She was, and I think she knew it, and I think that's why she stayed away for a long time.
You started this whole thing saying she wasn't the villain.
No, I said she wasn't the villain. You said she's a shitty person.
The best guy in the movie, outside Forrest Gump, obviously, was Lieutenant fucking Dan, who started out as an op.
No, he was never an op. He was always on their side. He was just always
a bit of an op.
He got angry at him when
a bit of an op.
When Forrest saved him and he was mad because he wanted to die in the war. Yeah, he was a little ugly to him. But he was never.
You kind of thought that was the end of that relationship. But then he always kept his word. He said, if you become a shrimper or whatever, I'll be your first mate. And then he said that sarcastically.
Yeah.
Or ironically or whatever. And then he held his word,
He did stick up for him when that chick tried to call him stupid, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He was the best guy in the movie. See, they try to make Jenny out to be this great person or this love, not great person, but this love or whatever, this forbidden love bullshit. And she's the villain when really the guy who kind of started off as the asshole turned out to be the best fucking friend outside Bubba, of course, but obvious things that he didn't get but 5 minutes of screen time.
Right. Yeah. It was such a good movie, though. It's such a deep movie. And then
it's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Another little tidbit I noticed is in the beginning when he's getting on the bus for school, the chick is smoking a cigarette on the bus, right? Because you could do that back in the day, right? Well, when his son,
bus, yeah,
when the son is getting on the bus, she's chewing gum, which insinuates that she either quit.
See, is that what it was? That makes sense too. I always thought it was AIDS.
That's what I kind of thought it was, but I guess you could get Hep C if you're having unprotected sex and doing a bunch of drugs and stuff like that. Which she was doing. It showed that she was doing that. But yeah, at the end, when the bus driver is picking up Forrest's son, she's chewing gum, which either insinuates that they had changed the law or that she had just quit.
The times had changed. You're not even allowed to smoke in the entire country with a minor in your own vehicle anymore. As of a couple years ago.
I think that's a good thing, though. That's not a bad law. That's a pretty good.
I don't care. I don't really have a strong opinion either way, if I'm honest.
I don't think it's a bad idea, honestly. The secondhand smoke is pretty bad. If your kid wants to go run around a different room.
It is annoying because I'm becoming a bit of a cigar smoker.
Oh, yeah?
And most of the time, I can't smoke a cigar because Jack's in the car
Why
with
do
me.
you want to smoke your cigar in your car anyway? Like, you want to smoke your cigar at home, like with a brandy in your hand, like watching the news or like, watch a
Because
movie.
do you really want to know why? Because it's a dumb reason.
Yeah.
Because if I'm smoking a cigar in my car, I'm walking around smoking a cigar outside of my car when I stop and whatnot. Bitches like it.
Easy. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I can't stand you.
100%. Like I'm 100% being honest right now.
I can't stand you, dude.
My theory, Atlas says my theory for why 30 somethings look younger now than they did in the 80s and 90s is no one's smoking anymore. Yeah, you mentioned that before, and I guess that makes sense. Like our hairlines are a little bit better than they used to be. Men, I should say.
You also don't have as much like. I feel like people are more like conscious of what's around them and what's going in their bodies too. Like there's no lead and there's no fucking asbestos. Like we're getting rid of that shit. We're not, we're worried about what you're putting in our food. Whereas back in the day, like people were just like healthy
Yeah.
and junk food. Like there's a lot more skincare. Like you see a lot more like younger people doing skincare and stuff. Whereas people always thought you did skincare when you got old. But now people are realizing you do skincare and stuff as a preventative measure to
Right.
to keep the wrinkles
I
away.
feel like people don't spend as much time in the sun either.
Well, the thing was like
I feel like in the
tanning was
80s,
really
people were just
big.
baking on the beach all
People
the
love
time.
the tanning beds too, like to like the tanning beds and like the fucking going to the beach and just like the like places like Aeropostale and stuff like that who had the fucking like shirtless surfer dudes and like the chicks like the models, they would have models hanging out in front of their store. You know what I'm talking about? That was definitely the vibe back in like the 2000s for sure. Everyone's just skinny and tan. Whereas now we're realizing that the sun makes you look older and it gives you cancer too.
Right. Want to see something? You want to see something wild?
Hmm.
I have what I call the driver's arm or the DoorDasher's arm. Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's real tan. Yeah, you got a
It's
farmer's
only one
tan.
arm though,
Oh my god,
but you can see the difference. Like
bro, you gotta go to the beach.
one arm.
I'm so pale right now, and it's such a shame because I do get really tan. You remember when people used to think I was Hispanic when I was younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. People thought I was Spanish or something.
Specifically, like Guatemalan. It was weird. Like, like not even just like Hispanic. They were like trying to like figure out what country you were, and they would put like a legitimate nationality to it. I was like, y'all weird, bro.
There was one time I actually, so when I was younger, you remember I did some like child modeling when I was younger. I got called in to do like a Campbell's soup commercial, I think it was. And I was gonna be like the main one. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what my agent was doing. I don't know because I was like 4 or 5. Okay, I didn't know a whole lot. But I go in and they're like speaking to me in Spanish. I'm like, oh. And they're like, doesn't she speak Spanish? And we're like, no, I'm not Spanish. Like, I don't know what happened here, but somebody fucked up. I got to be an extra. You didn't see anything but my elbow. So like,
It got bumped.
yeah, because I couldn't speak Spanish. And
He went
honestly,
in
at the
talking about
time,
I'm gonna be the fucking star, and then
we should
all
have
because of the
capitalized.
language barrier.
And I
They're like,
remember
you can be
that
in it.
commercial. I remember going to it. I still have memories of it. Like, even though I was so young, I still kind of remember it. But if I wanted to, I should have capitalized off of it and started speaking Spanish. Like, I should have started learning Spanish because I could have been
Not
in
hard.
Spanish,
The easy language.
Spanish commercials and English commercials. Do like both, but nobody was thinking like that at the
¿Dónde
time.
está ¿Dónde está la mota? That's what you need to know.
Where you're from?
Where is the weed?
Oh, la mota. Yeah, I didn't hear that last part. Yeah,
¿Dónde está la mota?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the weed?
I got it right here, bro. I rolled a fat fucking blunt earlier. I still got like half of it left.
Grande mota.
Yup.
They're like, I don't give a fuck.
I know how to say onions in Spanish. Cebolla. But that's just because we have some, we have a lot of Spanish people that come into Waffle House. And I'm trying to see if they want onions in their sandwich or not.
You know why that is, right?
Why?
So we had an open border policy for like the last 3 years, where like I think we let in like 10 million immigrants over the last 3 years. Just walk right through.
No, we didn't.
Look it up, bro. Joe Biden just closed the border this week. Kind of.
I thought there were a lot more motherfuckers around. I thought I was tripping. I was like, it just seems like there's a fuck ton more people
Bro,
around these fucking days.
Cleveland's being invaded by Ukrainians. Like everywhere I go, there's just Ukrainians now. Like I would be
Really?
willing to say like a third of Cleveland speaks Ukrainian now.
Well,
Which I didn't even know was a language. I thought they just spoke Russian.
no, I had a Ukrainian boyfriend when I was in Ohio. I did. He was Ukrainian. I remember very specifically. And then
But
my
I
best
didn't know
friend.
Ukrainians spoke their own language. I thought they spoke Russian because they defected from Russia a long ass time ago.
No,
But
they have their own language. My boyfriend was stupid though. Well, I don't want to be ugly, but he was stupid because he couldn't speak in his first language or his second language. Like he couldn't speak. He could speak broken English. He could speak broken Russian and broken Ukrainian. He could barely speak to his parents, and he
they
admitted
couldn't
it to me.
speak.
He admitted it to me. He could barely fucking commit. Bro, if he texted me, I didn't know what the fuck he was saying. On God, I'd be like, what are you trying to say right now? Like,
And you dated it?
not for very long. You had the audacity to look at me one day and say, "Are you dumb?" Okay, mister, I can't even speak one language the right fucking way.
Did you hit him with that? You should have hit him with that.
No, I didn't because I didn't have as many comebacks as when I was younger. I was nicer when I was younger. But I definitely thought it. And he was like maybe my boyfriend for like 2 or 3 days after that. And I broke up with him in like the elevator at the school wearing the cutest fucking outfit I'd worn all week. Bitch. I said we could be friends.
Could be free. Why y'all say that if y'all don't mean it though?
I meant it at the time.
We could
I
be
actually
friends.
did mean it. I did mean it. And do you know
I
one
feel
of my
like
other
that's the
friends?
thing. I feel like women do say shit they mean, and then they don't mean it later. They don't
I
mean
did
it
mean it.
anymore, like real
I
quickly
did
too.
mean
By the
it
way,
at the
they'll
time.
just
Do you
like
know?
switch it up immediately, almost.
Do you know I went to a girl because he started like he wouldn't talk to me after that. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I went to a girl and I asked her about it, and I was like, I told him we could be friends, and she was like, that doesn't mean what you think it means, right? I was like, what? She was like, when you say I just want to be friends, that means I don't want to be your friend. I was like, what? Y'all couldn't. I don't have the handbook to high school. I just got here. So I read it wrong. He didn't want to be my friend after that. I didn't care. He was fucking stupid. Like, what do I give a fuck?
No, dudes don't want girlfriend, like female friends typically.
I noticed that.
Like
I noticed that.
we usually have our female friends already. You know what I mean? Like we're not trying to get new ones. You know?
And the only reason those are your friends is because they won't fuck you.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's how it started, and now like it's to the point where it's like we don't even care anymore because we're friends.
It'd be weird now. Like, yeah, now it'd be weird.
It's like, okay, yeah, you didn't want to fuck me, and I hung around hoping you would fuck me, and then you wouldn't, so now we're just friends, and now I don't care. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And then so where I was going with that was at the time I had a Ukrainian boyfriend, and then my best friend's sister had a Ukrainian boyfriend too. So there was already a rise in like Ukrainian people in Ohio when I was there.
Well, no, because Cleveland has a decent Eastern European population. It always has, because like think of like pierogies and the sauerkraut and all the sausage and stuff we have here. Like we've always had it, but I mean, like, dude, they're just everywhere. Like you go anywhere outside now in Cleveland, there's just Ukrainians, and like every Ukrainian dresses like a mom or a dad at the barbecue in 2005. You guys are name brand white collar t-shirt with slacks and New Balance brand new New Balance tennis shoes You know what I mean? And like a ball cap.
did.
Like,
I did notice that about them. They were always like very into like name brand, like very clean looking, very like name brand cologne, name brand. Like it was very.
yeah.
I kind of got that vibe just from
I'm
the
like, why do
school I
y'all
went
all
to.
dress that way? That's weird. That's a
I
weird thing
don't
about
know.
y'all.
Maybe the same way the Americans did it in like the 2000s and shit. Like before we had as much internet as we have now, before we've all kind of gotten on board with just being ourselves, like people were really trying to fit in back in the day. Like, oh, this is trendy, this is in, we got to do it. Like people were like people. It's we're being skinny right now, and this is what we're doing. And some people kind of fall suited to it today, but a lot of people are on board with we're just gonna be ourselves because fuck the rest, right? So I think a lot of that was just what people do. You know, it's culture. Like I want to dress like this. That's how they did in the 2000s and stuff. We've only recently gotten away, like more into individuality as we've gotten older. And
Yeah.
honestly,
I'm going to
millennials
attribute it because they're from Ukraine, which like that's really close to all the sweatshops in the world. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's probably cheap. They probably came here with those clothes. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
probably cheap where they got them from, and now they're over here. If that makes any sense, name brand shit is probably cheaper on that side of the world. You know what I mean?
Who knows?
Because
Maybe.
that's where it's made.
And a lot of the Ukrainian people I met were like rich too.
Yeah, that's true too.
How did y'all do it? I just want to know. I just teach me your ways.
Because that's where like now this is getting more into conspiratorial space, but that's where like a lot of people go to like launder their money.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, look into it. So like um they like launder it in Ukraine and then they go and put it in Swiss bank accounts. So
Oh, did
that
they
it's like
Switzerland? I always thought Switzerland had more to do with that.
you don't launder in Switzerland. You just put your money there so that it can't be seized
Makes sense.
because they won't like they don't because Switzerland doesn't like play nice with everybody's government. They don't play nice with Interpol. They don't play nice with. They're not, I don't even think they're a part of like the United Nations or
I
anything.
think I knew that. I think because
Yeah,
everyone makes the joke that Switzerland is completely neutral and they're not on
neutral.
anybody's
Yeah,
terms but their
but
own. They're really just for
that's not
themselves.
what you think. Everybody wants to be like, oh, they're neutral, which means they're passive. They're not. They're
They're just
about
for
making money.
themselves.
Yeah, they're about making
Neutrally, they're
money.
for
They're like,
themselves.
you got money, they'll be neutral. Yeah, like,
Honestly, I think America should focus more on themselves. We're always
that's
worried
what
about
I've
what
said for years.
we're always worried about what everybody else got the fuck going on. We need to worry about the fuck's going on right here because I'm telling you right now, shit's going south. I can guarantee you within the next couple of years with this fucking heat we have going down, first of all, they're lying on the index. Swear to God, they're fucking lying because they're saying, oh, it's like 94. I promise you, it's like 102. I can't sit outside for
I've
5
felt
minutes.
that way too. I've felt that way too.
They're lying with the heat and the drugs and the homelessness, bro. I promise you, they're gonna have to get like, who is it called when they have to like bring in the? It's not the military. It's not the military. They have a word for
Oh,
it.
the
It's like
National Guard.
the National Guard. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of National Guard situations happening, like this summer, within the next year, election
Why?
year, because everyone's going haywire, bro. People are broke. Drugs are at an all-time high. The heat is killing people, and I think people are just sick of it. There's crime rate is out of this world. Okay, like shit's just going crazy.
I
think
agree.
I think
I'm
it's
kind
gonna
of
get
sick of it.
pretty
Is what I
intense
should say.
here. And you just told me there's like 10 million more fucking people here. I was thinking, I was feeling, I was like, it feels like there's a lot of fucking people around lately, but I never knew why. I felt a little crowded, and I didn't realize you said there's a bunch of fucking people coming in. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, dude, look it up. These are like legitimate stats. The like I want to say it could be more, but I believe the number I heard several times was 10 million people over the last 3 years,
Yeah.
which is like I don't know. We have 350 million people already in this country. That's like a noticeable amount of people. You know,
Like you know how like crazy it is in like New Orleans. like the big cities, like you got a bunch of drugs and just mayhem, and like you're starting to see that more in like all major cities all over the country. And I feel like looting's gone really bad in California. They can loot anything as long as it's not over $1,000. Meaning you can't call the police for it unless they steal over 1,000. But you can steal
That's
$999 worth of stuff.
most states have come up with like the felony law or whatever, where if it's not like if you've been shoplifted as a business, the police won't even come out unless it's worth a felony, which is over $1,000 within a year's time. So
Oh, so you mean like if it's like repeat offenders, they're probably gonna get them.
yeah, so
That's
like
that makes sense.
businesses will start tracking. That's why they don't even stop you when they when you if you go to shoplift, the people don't even give a shit because they'll just catch you and see if you'll come back. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't track how much they're stealing. But the expiration kind of kills over after 365 days.
Yeah. But yeah, I get the feeling that people are just gonna start going crazy. So, make sure you got
Also, why prices are going up too, because businesses are like, well, we can get these guys quicker if we raise our prices.
that too. Yep. So I think it's just be aware, man. You got scammers out there. You got fucking people killing people over bullshit. You got people. Everybody's on drugs. People are ODing everywhere. You
Have
just gotta
grocery prices come down at all?
a little bit. It's not like crazy.
They started to a little bit up here in Ohio. Did you hear Joe Biden demanded the end of price gouging, and then prices just like immediately came down? And I'm like, why didn't you do this like 4 years ago? Like,
Is that all it took?
yeah, like all these corporations are just like, okay. There's not like a significant amount. Like I went in like 2 weeks ago thinking I was going to spend like $70, and I spent like 45, maybe 50. So a little bit of a drop.
Yeah, it's getting better out there. We'll be all right, man. That's why I'm just focused on making money because I'm just trying to buy a nice house somewhere away from people and just live my life. Maybe have like a fresh garden and stuff. Start my own garden. Learn
That'd be
how to
nice.
cook. Learn how to
If you
cook
can
real
fucking
good.
buy a house.
Those are my goals,
Land.
man. I'm putting it out into the universe. I'm gonna try to do it.
You don't watch the news or anything, or stay updated on.
I don't like it. It's
It's
fear
impossible
mongering.
to buy a house right now.
It's fear mongering.
No, it's literally impossible to buy a house right now.
Well, right now it'll crash. Just wait. It'll
People
happen.
have been saying that for fucking 4 years.
It'll happen. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, and just so you know,
Honestly, what will happen is once the boomers start croaking off at a staggering rate, which that'll happen in the next 5 or 10 years, like they're gonna start croaking, and that's gonna crash the housing because that's who owns all the houses. But the problem is a lot of them are selling them to BlackRock, a fucking big ass company, just buying up all the houses.
well, what's probably going to happen with me soon. I live down here in Louisiana. We're probably going to get hit with a hurricane, and I'll probably have to like go on a vacation, which is kind of like a forced vacation because I actually don't take vacations because I'm trying to like work so long, forgot how to vacation, Post Malone with it. But I'll go on a vacation for like a few days, and then FEMA will like reimburse you for the time you had to take off and any damages. So like $500, So yeah, it's like a paid vacation and some money. I'll be all right. Shit, you know how many times I done lost a house or fucking like lost all my shit? All you gotta grab the paperwork and some clothes. I'll be all right. That'd be good. I can build it all back again.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I got coming up.
Yeah, in roughly what's today? It's June, so like 3 months.
Yeah. And you want to know something?
Maybe 2.
It's the beginning of June, and it's so fucking hot.
It's the middle of June. It's the 15th.
It's the middle. It's the beginning. Well, it's the beginning of summer is what I meant to say.
Technically, it's not summer yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Summer starts
Technically,
in 6 days.
yeah, summer starts. It's the beginning of summer, and it's so fucking hot down here. We're gonna die.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's supposed to be 93 on Monday here.
That's another reason why I gotta lose weight, man. I cannot be this fucking big in the summer. Like you'll just die. You'll have a heat stroke if you're outside for more than like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hot so hot next week here that I got an email from the electric company telling them that they're ready for the heat wave and they're planning to have like I don't know whatever they're gonna do.
Oh, are ya? Are ya?
Yeah.
Are you now? What's it gonna get to a nice fucking 90 up there? What's it gonna get to like
93 on Monday, I think 96 on Tuesday. It's gonna be hot, bro.
Oh, y'all are getting it. Y'all are getting it.
It got
Damn.
2 years ago, it was 100, 101, and 103 in a 3-day period. I was like, I'm going to die. Like,
Oh, some places got to 112 down here.
oh, I believe you. But that's not it. That's not what like we're used to snow and like mild summers, like 85 at the most. 85 is a hot day here. Like put that in perspective. Like y'all get the opposite. It's like y'all think fucking 50's cold. You know what I mean? So it like y'all don't see what we see, So we're not supposed to see what we see.
And y'all don't see what we see. It's like
We don't.
wild.
But I feel like anything over 85 here is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty
86,
ridiculous.
I don't want to go out. 86 is like, call it. We're done. That's too hot for even the pool.
Bro,
like you get in the pool, the water's like boiling. Like
I'll be sitting outside for like 5 minutes hitting my vape, and my knees will be fucking red from like scorched. But like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you cooking?
Because you're cooking, bro.
What the fuck? Like, this is you fucking sit in your car and you got fucking leather and you're like, God, fuck, I gotta get a fucking window thing in my car.
You sit outside for half an hour and you're
People
fucking
get like second-degree burns.
Start to fall off the bone like it's
Bro.
fucking brisket.
Oh, I stocked up on sunscreen. I'm fucking ready, bro. I just gotta stock up on a couple more things because it's probably gonna be a hurricane. But just stay hydrated, man. It's intense out here.
Oh, I drink. You know me. I drink like a gallon of water a day.
But with the water, you also need to make sure you're getting the electrolytes too, because don't dilute your salt levels. You'll get dizzy and pass out. You're supposed to be having electrolytes and water.
McDonald's.
That's definitely gonna help you out. You're good. You're good. There's there's like 3 different types of salt on their fries.
I don't eat their fries. I don't eat potatoes.
Bro,
I stopped eating potatoes years ago.
Fries are so fucking good.
I haven't really eaten potatoes. I mean, I have for my show or whatever, but I haven't really eaten potatoes since I broke up with that Irish girl. So
that makes sense. I was gonna make a joke about how
she wanted potato. Now it was good. Don't get me wrong, but she gave me etouffee with instead of rice, mashed potatoes. She wanted potatoes with every meal. And I'm not talking just every dinner. I'm talking breakfast, lunch, dinner. She'd be like, "You want some potato bread?" I'm like, "Bro!"
She was always fucking up that potato. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
you remember, right?
Yeah, I didn't know there were so many ways to cook a fucking potato.
There's so many scalloped potatoes, fucking
hash browns in the morning.
potato chips, hash browns. It just keeps going like mashed potatoes. Shepherd's pie. Baked potato. Yeah.
Potatoes and everything, man.
Oh shit, dude. Like, gnocchi. Like, you made a pasta out of a potato.
Pierogies, which are filled with potato.
Which is just a potato noodle shoved with more potato inside of it.
Jesus Christ. I didn't like pierogies.
You don't like pierogies? I love pierogies. They're good.
It's a texture thing. I don't fuck with noodles.
You like noodles?
I'll fuck with noodles, man. I like that. Like, I could have some. If I can do, like, angel hair, maybe, like a few scoops of angel hair with lots of sauce, meatballs, and like some garlic bread. Like I don't need that much noodle in my life, and not like a mouthful. Like a fucking ravioli would take me out on God. Like I would gag it up. I would die. I'd be like,
So that's what
ah!
a pierogi is. It's pretty much ravioli. But
Yeah, I didn't like. I tried it, but that's the thing. I tried it, and it's like my mouth gets so offended. I like take a bite out of it, and I'll be like, ah. And my boyfriend is kind of just how you were when it comes to food. When I was growing up, you said you have to at least try it. My boyfriend would be like, "Come on, man, you gotta at least try it," because he was a chef at one point too. I'd be like, "Nah, man, I can tell by the texture. I'm not gonna fuck with it, and it's not even the taste. Like, don't feel bad." And he's like, "But you gotta try it." I was like, "I'll try it." And guess what? I'm gonna spit it out too. I don't care if it hurts your feelings because I told you.
I think you're autistic.
Well, all the other fucking kids were too. No wonder I got left out. I wasn't the most autistic, so I didn't get that much attention. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that fucked up. But you know, girls don't get diagnosed until like later on anyway. So
Yeah, for the longest time they were saying that it's more of a problem with men than it is with women. And I'm like, I don't think it is. I think men is just more obvious because men are aggressive.
I need to know what the fuck
And we
mom.
also just don't, as a society, and as I'm saying this as I just interrupted you, but as a society, we don't really listen to women. Like,
I know.
like y'all
And that's
talk,
why
we're just like,
women
whatever.
don't
Like,
get diagnosed until.
even
But I
other
want to
women,
know. I want to
even
know
other
what the
women don't listen to other women.
I want to know what the fuck mom was doing. That all of her kids got a little bit of the spectrum. Like all of her kids are a little bit on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck did you do? What were you doing? Like
Homeschooled us.
that's some fucked up shit, bro. Like, what did you do? I love to walk around like barefoot. I hate shoes. I love to be barefoot. Like I walk outside like on the gravel barefoot. I walk around with I hate socks, but if I wake up with like one sock on, I'll walk around with one sock on. I don't like it when my hair touches my face. Can't fucking stand it. Gotta have it up if I'm cleaning. I don't like to be touched.
The other day.
I don't like to, you knew I did never like to be touched in high school. I don't like to be touched. Those are all signs of like being on the spectrum.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The other day, or you reminded me of something. I had taken like my shoes off or whatever, and then I just had to like I had shit I had to do, right? I had to like do laundry, I had to do dishes, and like I had a long list of shit I needed to do, and it was like later in the day, you know. So like I started to take one sock off, and I have ADHD. I just move on to the next task before I finish one, right? And it wasn't till like 3 hours later that I realized that like was walking through my apartment and even like the hallway into the laundromat with like one sock off and one on, you know, kind of barefoot walking out there because I do that. I don't give a fuck. But also, I didn't just have one sock on. It was like halfway on.
No, can't do it.
So I probably look crazy.
No, I can't do the half sock. I can do one sock, one sock on, one sock off. The sock's got to be on my right foot, but off on my left one. But I can't do a half sock on.
I just like I get in my zone, bro. I'm not
You
even
probably
paying
look like
attention.
a homeless person. But since we're getting
People
into
know
it,
me here.
but since we're getting into it, you remember how we were talking about other signs that I'm probably on the spectrum? There's more. Remember I told you I have a hard time picking up on sarcasm? More. I told you I have a hard time picking up on sarcasm.
You did say that.
I did say that, yeah. And there was another one. What was it? I was thinking about it, but I can't remember. I am super antisocial and have a lot of social anxiety.
Do some autistic people feel anxiety?
I'm pretty sure they do. The thing is, that's why they say there's a spectrum. I'm probably not. I don't think I'm like heavy on the spectrum. Like you wouldn't be able to tell. I don't have a problem with eye contact. I don't have a problem
I'm of the opinion everybody's on the spectrum. I think this is everybody's like the spectrum they have is so wide that it's just more than anything it's just personalities.
But I think it's the sensory issues the most that like makes me feel like it, because that actually wasn't that bad when I was younger. It developed more into my adulthood that I just can't stand the way certain foods feel. But I've always kind of felt that way about chicken. I told you the ripping of the chicken always kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
So there's always kind of
So
been times
So
of
you
it.
can't eat like a chicken Alfredo then.
I don't even like white
That's
sauce.
the
I
best.
don't like
That's the
noodles
best
and I don't like
pasta.
chicken. That would be the worst meal of my life. I hated one of our brother's birthday because he wanted chicken Alfredo every night. And I don't know if you remember, I didn't eat it every year. I didn't fuck with it. Not white sauce, not chicken, not no. Mom said eat it or be hungry. Motherfucker, I would be hungry sometimes. I
I'm
don't
gonna
care.
be hungry. That's like one of the best pastas ever.
And another thing is like I can't be bullied into anything unless I want to do it. Like I've been called like fat my whole life, and I didn't start losing weight until it started to bother me. My legs were hurting all the time, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose some weight.
I feel that one though, because like when people are like, "You should go, you should come to the thing," and I'm like, "No, but we're gonna miss you." I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Do not care about your feelings at all. Like you're honestly, you like your existence did not matter to me at all when I came up with the fact that I didn't want to go. And the fact that you there did not even come up in the equation. I didn't even consider you were going to be there. I already decided I didn't want to go before you even brought it up.
Right.
So you
But
can't
then
bully me into stuff, you know? Like
I feel that. But then all of that in a nutshell, I kind of always put it to the back of my mind because I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not a fucking psychologist. I'll figure this shit out when I go. But I kind of also don't want to be those people that always have something wrong with them. Like there's nothing fucking wrong with you. You are who you
oh, okay,
are.
so here's the thing: is this on the spectrum? I don't like to be handed stuff at all. It's like and everybody calls me Iron Man over it, and it's like I don't say it because of Iron Man. I legitimately don't like to be handed stuff. When people are like, "Here you go," I won't grab it. A lot of times, even sometimes I will grab it and I'll set it down immediately. Like
Oh, and
I
that see
don't
that
like to be
might
handed
be.
stuff.
I'm not sure about that. And you
Anything.
know, the reason
I
the
ask for
reason
it, but
the reason we are so knowledgeable about these things is because our mom did do some like work as an advocate for people with special needs and special needs children. So we were very like up to date on a lot of things that have to do with autism, being on the spectrum, and anybody who is pretty much disabled. We know a lot about it. We have a disabled brother. So we're not just speaking out of our ass. We actually do know a lot about this. But anyway, I'm not sure about that one actually. But I was going to bring up the one I forgot earlier. I don't like to be touched a whole lot. And I don't know if you remember, I used to have this saying in high school because people would try to like come up and hug me and I'd be like, don't touch me, I'm famous. And everyone would kind of laugh it off, but I was dead ass about it. I don't like to be touched. Don't tap me. Don't, if we're bumping into each other at work, that's one thing. I understand that. But don't come up and touch me. Don't come up and like, I don't know you. Don't do that. I don't fuck with that. That's another part of
I don't like to be
being
hugged
on the spectrum.
at all. People try to hug me. I like to hug Jack. But other than that, I don't like to be hugged. Like when people are like, there's this one shot time a chick was trying to give me a hug at work. And like I was like, don't come over here. She's like, oh, but you need a hug. I was like, no, I don't. Don't come over here. And she's kept creeping in. I was like, if you touch me, I'm going to consider it a threat and it's not gonna go your way at all.
That's fucked up. Oh my god, that's fucked up. But you want to know something that reminds me of a story? And I'm not gonna get too much backstory on this because it's like fucked up. But I was really sad one day, and mom's friend that she was letting live with us at the time, I don't know, some tall dude, I don't remember his name. Something like really serious had just happened in the family, and I was real broke up about it. And he was trying to console me. I don't give a fuck. I don't know you, but he was trying to be like, "Do you need a hug?" I was like, "No." He was like, I think you need a hug. I was like, I don't like to hug people. And not 5 minutes later, mom pulls up with my best friend and we run up and we like hug each other. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit.
I
Like,
don't know who you are. I don't know you.
you're not gonna bully me into nothing, bro. I don't get if I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna fucking do it. Like,
That's how it should be. But I think with that we gotta end it here because I gotta start on the other show and make dinner and stuff.
yeah, we
This
kind
is
of been
good.
rambling.
What were you saying?
I said, yeah, we kind of been rambling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this has been the greatest goddamn show on air. Catch me here in a few minutes. I don't know, it's gonna be a random time now. With every other weekend meals with me and my son Jack. We're gonna make pizza puffs, like seen at Little Caesars. Yeah,
Ooh,
and
and
yeah,
those
check
were
out
yummy.
Hammered and
I
Cheese on
tried those,
Tuesdays.
and those
They're
were really
good,
good.
right?
They're good
They're
as
really
fuck.
good.
You can make them at home for sure. I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
this.
we're about to go make them. Yeah, Hammered and Cheese on Tuesdays. Every Monday and every other Wednesday, we have Last Minute History and Sketched Out. And obviously, check this show out every Saturday. Thank you, guys. Peace out. Go. Oh, there we go.